What is up? Welcome to the Burst into Flames series here now of Origins. We're getting into it now. We just wrapped up Luminous Eyes. Very excited about how all that went. It's pretty fun. Now we're on to Burst into Flame. Burst into Flame is an interesting one because the first variation of this one had few people that weren't even a part of the record on it, which is weird. But when you start a solo project, there's kind of a weirdness to the whole thing. Anyway, we hadn't played shows yet. At that time, I had already obviously written the record and stuff and what have you. So it was all things that were coming. But anyway, Burst into Flame was actually supposed to be called Reflectors. And it didn't get to be called Reflectors. We went through a couple different artwork things. And it's really funny because in hindsight, I went back and looked at some of it. Some of the stuff that we didn't want. And I actually really like it. Which is weird because when we got down to it, we were having problems with Reflectors being the title. And Burst into Flame was actually the last song written. I had asked if John wanted to be involved with any of the writing. And he had written something, and I told him, I was like, I want a fast song. I was like, I don't need any more mid-tempo. And he kind of brought me a mid-tempo song. And it was a good song. I think he actually ended up using a lot of the other parts for his own stuff. So it didn't cause any issue, but I really liked the intro kind of idea he had, except for it was a little bit more complicated and needed to be simplified. So I had to just go through, simplify some things, and kind of reworked it a little bit, and then wrote the song literally on the spot. Took a little bit to get it sounding right. Went through a few different versions before I was like, all right. But then I was just like, you know what? Maybe the album needs to be called Burst into Flame. Maybe the artwork idea will come to fruition. This was originally the back, and the back of this was the front. So that was the front. This was the back. And the first thing I said was, all right, well, make the back the front, and I think we're on to something. So that happened, and Burst into Flame was born. Great response from this song. It might be one of my most popular songs, which is funny because it was the least worked on. That's how things go sometimes. Sometimes the things that just pop out end up being the one. I personally, at the time, I was like really loving Reflectors. Like I really liked that one. I felt like it was more along the Luminous Eyes stuff that I was doing. Anyway, we're gonna rip through this because I am sure everybody that plays guitar that's been trying to learn this song, I do a lot of weird little things in between my licks that people don't seem to get right. It's probably because it's hard to hear, and if you got to take one headphone off and kind of listen to it like that to really get it, because if you listen to it in stereo, you're gonna have two guitars playing different things. So tunes to D standard. I gotta get this set up real quick. I'm gonna get my count in to 2. Come on, 2. All right, and let's check my volume real quick. All right, here we go. D standard tuning all the way across. so the rhythm pattern in the beginning is just a quick little. And guitar 1 does. And then when I come in, I start up here, I go. And I take it up. And then the verse lick slowed down. And it's just pull-offs and hammer-ons on the G stringer. That one's open, and this one's just. The chorus is the one that's tricky because there's all kinds of shit happening. There's like these drum fills and things, so you can't hear the little nuance. It's really simple. It's just. Right? And then the little lick is. So sped up. It's slow still. Second one. So I do it. And then so that's like basically almost the whole song, other than the bridge, which is so simple. I just go. Like I said, the song was written really quickly, solo. So fast. Sorry. John, he does the second solo. I don't know how to play it. I've never learned it, so you'll have to figure that one out on your own. But people have done it. I know people that play it. Yeah, that's about really the end of the song. I actually wore this pre-shirt here. I think I got this one from Unseen Chaos. And I wore this a lot during the Burst in a Flame touring stuff and playing the early shows, so I felt like bringing it back out. This is the guitar was written on. Like I said, Burst in a Flame was written really quickly, and it's just about, trying to, stay on top, stay on top of your game and do the best that you can to your abilities, but yet always try to achieve more, because there's always somebody like trying to knock you down. And that's one thing that I've really found. There's always people, there's naysayers, there's always just something out there with some negative ass shit. So, I was kind of dealing with that at the time. I had to switch graphic designers and switching record labels and yada, yada, yada. And I was just like, man. But in the end, nothing stopped me, nothing got in my way, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here talking about Haunt. It wouldn't have worked out. But it's weird, you go back and I look at a song like Burst in a Flame where I'm like, it was so effective, but yet when I wrote it, it was so quickly done in comparison to songs like Reflectors and maybe like Looking Glass, Crystal Ball, where I was like thinking about it a lot more. It was because it was just, you know, when you do a thrash riff, there you could just keep it going and keep the speed, keep the tempo. I didn't really think of, we already had a little bit different intro thing happening, so we already had a little tempo variation. But man, it really has become kind of a classic song for me. I play it every show. It's definitely held its place in the time capsule. So next up, after you guys are done learning this one, Crystal Ball, which is one that I probably miss playing that one more than I miss, you know, or more than I like playing Burst in a Flame. I don't know what it is about Crystal Ball, but back when, holy shit, like when we played, it was just very it had a lot of groove to it that I really liked. And you know, I'm not saying that I don't like Burst in a Flames. I love all of my songs, every single one I've written, even the songs that I don't like. So which is funny to say, but musicians will understand. You know, sometimes you just come up with stuff, you're like, yeah, but it's still good, you know, like it doesn't mean a song's bad. It just, sometimes you write some that you like more. And at the time, I was, like I said, Reflectors was like it for me. I don't know what it is about that one. I had all these ideas. We wanted to do a chrome, like a real, like, sorry, not chrome. We wanted to do a foil Haunt logo on the cover. And maybe I'll do it one day. We'll go back and we'll do a Reflectors version where I again, I have some of the art somewhere, and it was actually, you know, now in hindsight, it was good. And we were being very, very picky, me and Tim McGrogan from Shadow Kingdom. We were like, you know, we had a few album cover issues. So like I said, Bronca Studio and we decided that, you know, it was time to sever our partnership of him doing art for Haunt. And that's when Max Tremblay came into the play, and man, did Max do a lot of amazing shit for Haunt. I mean, Max to me is what, you know, up until recently, he's not doing really much design work anymore, which is great because he's working on his music and doing what he wants to do, and that's rad. But when I met Max, when I started talking with Max years ago, he was designing his own band's covers, album covers, and I was just like, hey man, could you design me one? And he was like, fuck yeah. And that was that. He did a lot of stuff. So anyway, shout out to Max, even, you know, shout out to Bronca Studio for also, you know, coming up with the logo and helping me, inspired me to try to do Haunt. But we'll be back with Crystal Ball later.